Daniela from Property Journal, and we are here with Taniel Chemsian, and he's going to talk about the project Valarte. Hello, Taniel. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for
How are you?
coming over. I'm doing great. Yeah, thanks for joining me.
Perfect. Can you tell us about yourself, where you're from?
Sure. Well, I'm from Los Angeles, and I moved to Vallarta in 2003. My first time in PB was in 2001. I fell in love and made the plans to move here 2 years later. In 2003 in October, I packed everything up and moved to Vallarta full time.
Cool. And how do you start in the real estate world?
So interesting. It was my sister's idea for me to go into real estate. My sister works for the California Bureau of Real Estate, and I was thinking of a big career move when I moved here. And she suggested that I go into real estate, and so I did. I started in October 2006, and now we're almost 17 years I've been in business.
A life. You've been in the market for a long time. And can you tell us, in your perspective, how has it changed?
Yeah, so I started real estate almost 17 years ago, and the market has changed a lot since I first started selling properties in 2006. Most of my buyers back then were baby boomers, so they were kind of nearing retirement, and they're moving abroad. You know, they worked hard all their lives, and they wanted to move to a warm climate. And Vallarta is the first tropical climate south of the U.S. border with Mexico, and that's basically what I was dealing with. And then as the years went by, and I would say maybe around 2015, 16 is when I noticed a lot more younger buyers entering the marketplace. So they're people in their 20s or their 30s coming down here, relocating, and they're not retiring, so they need to work. So they're opening up new businesses, and so you're not just living in a retirement community, so you have a lot of young blood coming here, which makes it really more exciting. Yeah.
Even before the pandemic, you're saying?
Yeah, before the pandemic, yeah. Then after the pandemic, I think a lot of people were reevaluating where they want to live, because a lot of jobs went remote. So why live in an expensive city like Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Vancouver, Toronto, where the cost of living, New York, where the cost of living is astronomical. Your rent, or your mortgage, or just going out to a restaurant or going to, like a club with your friends. It just costs too much nowadays, and they're looking at a more affordable lifestyle. So some of those people moved to the suburbs in the United States or Canada, or they just packed up and moved to a different country. And Mexico offers that great opportunity because we're so close to the United States and Canada.
And the quality of life.
The quality of life. I've been here for a long time now.
You can say for yourself.
Almost 20 years I've been here, and definitely the quality of life here is a lot better for me versus Los Angeles. And what I mean by quality of life being better, there's less stress, there's less traffic, the cost of living is a lot less. Your property tax here is almost non-existent. It's so low compared to the United States. My property tax here for my 1,000 square foot condo is roughly $75, $80 a year. And I have family members that pay close to $9,000 a year in property tax. So really, you got an extra $9,000 to play with. You can do a lot of money. You could do a lot with $9,000, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
So you represent a lot of condominium developments, right?
Yes. So I started segueing into representing developments, I would say maybe about 10 years ago. And I'm very fortunate now to be representing Valarte, which is in Fluvial. Actually, Valarte sits right on the border of Fluvial and Versailles, so it's a very strategic, convenient location. And as the market has grown since I started real estate, with a lot of younger people moving here, and in the hub of the city, like the romantic zone being saturated, people started developing outside of the city center. And Fluvial and Valarte has been one of those prime locations now that's seeing a lot of investment, a lot of people moving there, a lot of restaurants and cafes that have opened up in Versailles. I kind of refer to Versailles as the new Old Town. And then what I mean by that is you have a lot of conveniences just at your doorstep. So you don't have to get in the car and drive somewhere. We have a Costco, we have a La Comer grocery store, banks, medical facilities, clinics, everything is there. Yeah, if you want to go meet a friend for a quick drink or grab a bite to eat, you just kind of walk out and a couple of blocks and you're there. And from Valarte, there's a street called España, which is just a couple of blocks away. And just on that street alone, I think there are over 6 or 8 different restaurants and little eateries. So the location of Valarte is really unique and offers a lot of conveniences. And when we were designing the project, we really wanted to find a place that was unique. Oftentimes we hear of, it's something is in the heart of in the heart of the romantic zone, in the heart of the city. And we thought about that. Okay, so we said, what is in the heart of Vallarta? And if you look at the commercial space in Vallarta, that would be from the airport, maybe down to the romantic zone, that primary area. The heart, really, right in the center, would be. It's exactly. It's Valarte. You know, it's right on the border of Fluvial and Vallarta. So once we made a decision where we wanted the project to go, we need to find a piece of land that matched with our ideal vision of what this project needs to be. So we found a 1 square block land that's over 48,000 square feet. So what does that mean? That means that we can offer a lot more creativity, a lot more value, a lot more real estate, and a lot more bells and whistles, meaning amenities for an investor, for someone who's just relocating over here. And having 1 square block, that means you don't have any neighbors, any buildings that are just butting up against yours. And by not having that, that means we're able to allow more natural sunlight, cross breeze ventilation, more windows, more units having balconies and terraces that face out rather than being an interior and looking into a courtyard, which is not ideal for a lot of people that want to be on a balcony and enjoy the Vallarta weather, right? So once we got the lot, then we started working on the project. And we worked on the project actually during the heydays of the pandemic. We worked on this virtually. We had meetings every single week online with the architects, the developers, the engineers, the real estate team, and we worked on this project virtually, which we had never done before. And that allowed us to get really creative and be able to communicate and still work during those challenging times. And then we launched the project out into the world in 2022. And Valarte now consists of 95 units over 8 floors. We have 6 commercial spaces on the ground floor. We have amenities that's available for the public, which is very rare for condominium development to offer. And we have amenities that are just for the owners, the guests, and the renters.
Okay. So what are the amenities that are open up for the public?
So the amenities out to the public is on facing Avenida Fluvial, which is the main avenue that goes through Fluvial and Vallarta, right on the border. And we have this kids play area garden, which is fantastic. And then that's surrounded by a bench seating area, and you have these gardens and beautiful trees. At night, you know, under the benches and throughout the garden, it's lit, so it looks really charming and romantic. We have water features that are going through the public area. And in front of the commercial space, we have we call the exhibition platform. So if you want to have like an art show, you want to have a special event, you can reserve that space. And like for the commercial space that's meant for a restaurant, there's space outside for them to have outside dining. And so all of that is available to the public. So if you're kind of just strolling up the street in front of Valarte, someone has kids with them, they just want to sit, let the kids, run around and just kind of release all that energy. You have all that wonderful space available to you.
Cool, perfect. And what are the amenities for the owners or renters?
Right. So once you enter the building from Havre Street, Calle Havre, you enter into a double height lobby. And there's something special on that second floor, which I'll get to in a second. But you have a double height lobby, and as you walk through the lobby, you're going towards the elevator. You're going to come into this big area where it's like a playroom, like a game room and there's a section for the adults, and there's a section for the kids. So the adults kind of keep an eye on the kids while they just kind of sit there and just kind of play cards, or they're playing on the chalkboard. And then you have sliding glass doors that goes into the back of the building, kind of like the backyard that's surrounded by a wall. So you have the privacy. And then you have the outdoor kids play area. And adjacent to that, you have a pet area. I have 2 little chihuahuas, so they like to run around. And it's fenced off, so you can let your dogs go out there, kind of run around, release their energy, do their thing. And I walk my dogs at least 2 times a day. So in the morning and the evening, so just letting them run to do their thing. It's really easy, it's very convenient, so that's nice. And then you have a walkway in the back as well, like I call the Zen trail. You can go down and kind of sit on the bench, read a book, answer a phone call while the kids are playing and the dogs are running around. And then once you enter back of the building, you go up to the second floor, which is part of that double height, the lobby. And then you have something really special that we designed specifically for Valarte, and that's particularly because the way we work and play in the world has changed significantly since the pandemic. A lot of people are working remotely, and working from home, on your bed, on your dining table, you get sick of it. So you kind of want to go out and just kind of, instead of going to a coffee shop, you can go to this co-working space that we designed at Valarte. You're going to have like a bench bar area. You can sit there. You're going to have booths. You can sit with multiple people. And then if you're going to have meetings with, let's say, your coworkers, or special presentation you're going to do, we have 2 conference rooms you can reserve with the HOA. One is a little bit bigger than the other, or if and that's kind of great. So if you're going to even have like a virtual meeting, you need quiet space, you can reserve it and go over there. And then also on the second floor, when you go down the walkway, you have the common restrooms, and then you enter something really cool. It's a 16-seat movie theater.
Oh, cool.
And it's got those VIP reclining seats, and it's fantastic. If you've got kids, you're going to have like a movie night with the kids. Instead of having all the kids come into your place, kind of making a mess, running around, you can reserve the movie theater, play their movie. There's a snack machine that's going to be outside. You could throw the popcorn in the microwave. There are restrooms there as well. So it's a really great space for the kids. And even for adults, if you want to watch the World Cup, Super Bowl, do you want to watch the Academy Awards, or just have a movie night for you and your friends, you can reserve that space and have a great time and just kind of get out of the house and not worry about making a mess and entertaining at home. So we covered the 2 levels that have the amenities for the owners and the guests, and then you go up to the 5th floor, and there you have this long infinity edge pool that actually has a section which is perfect for doing laps. A lot of people say that they want to be able to exercise in the pool, but what you find in some of these condo buildings is because the lot size is so small that you're kind of limited in terms of what amenities you can provide and the size of the amenities. So some of these rooftop pools are really small, and you can't do laps. It's just kind of like a wading pool. You just kind of sit and chill out and watch the sunset. But at Valarte, because we have that big space, we're able to offer this long lap pool. Parts of it are deeper than the other. You have more shallow areas, which is I think great for children and for the elderly. And then you've got the cabanas and all the resting, the sunning areas outside. And then adjacent to that, you have an air-conditioned, like a bar lounge with a television. You can sit there, catch up on emails, make a couple of phone calls. And adjacent to the pool and on the air-conditioned lounge is a covered barbecue eating area with a lot of tables out there. And the developer, by the way, is going to provide the furniture for all these common areas. So we were going through catalogs and meticulously picking out, by hand, every single piece that's going to go in the common areas. And then you've got the common restrooms, and then you have the fitness area. Again, all the equipment is going to be purchased by the developer. And so this air-conditioned lounge, the barbecue area, and the fitness area have openings and windows that face out towards like the northeast part of the bay. So you'll see part of the mountains, part of the northern part of the city. So you have a lot of natural light coming through. And then finally, that's not enough. You go up to the 9th floor. So the 9th floor is just the roof, right? So there are 8 levels for the condos, the residences, and then on the rooftop, you have one other common area, and that is a multi-purpose room, air-conditioned, closed in. And that's another
for the parties.
And that's right. You could have another, if you want to have a party up there for the roof, you could reserve it. Or the homeowners want to have a meeting, or maybe you're going to have a business meeting. You're going to invite a whole bunch of coworkers and have a little celebration, or whatever. Or you just want to go up there and maybe watch the fireworks at night, with some friends.
Smoke, watch the stars.
We're not having a smoke. We can't smoke anymore. And then you have the multi-purpose room, which is really great if you want to have another party or get-togethers. The homeowners want to have a meeting. And from up there, you're going to have the most fantastic views of the city, the fireworks, and watching the lightning storm, during the summer rains in Vallarta. So Valarte offers all these amenities, fantastic quality, the most incredible location in an up-and-coming area. You're seeing all, like construction and businesses coming into this area, and the conveniences of all the big box stores and family-run businesses. So everything's at your footsteps, and you don't have to worry about, the hills, the mountains. So if you've got walking disability, you've got children, it's a lot, I think, easier to navigate.
You don't even have to have a car.
You don't need a car, really. No. Developer is very keen and very alert and aware of that. We need to finish this project, and we're actually had a schedule for now, and I think hopefully it's going to stay that way. But currently looking at delivering maybe between 12 to 14 months. So maybe between April, like June-ish of next year.
Okay.
Yeah, unless things change.
And Taniel, can you tell us about the neighborhood, Fluvial and Versalles, how has changed in the last 10 years?
Sure. It's really interesting. As the romantic zone has gotten really busy and Vallarta has properly grown, over the last 10, 15 years, areas like Fluvial and Versailles have benefited from that growth. And it's not just the foreigners that are moving here. There are a lot of Mexican nationals that are moving to Vallarta as well. And not everybody's looking at, I want to live on the beach, I want to have those ocean views 24/7. Vallarta is so small geographically that within a couple of minutes you can be on the beach for the most part from wherever you're at. And that's really helped us and helped the growth of certain areas, certain neighborhoods in PV. That's not necessarily the touristy area. And Versailles and Fluvial are those two areas that have benefited greatly in the last 10 years. Now Versailles, there are a lot of older homes over there. A lot of like generational families that have lived there for a long time. I would just say it was like a nice middle-class neighborhood of PV. And over the years now, we're seeing some new urban growth in that area. So we were seeing a lot of growth in Versailles the last few years. So we're seeing new buildings going up to meet up with the supply and demand that people are moving into the region. And Fluvial, when I moved here, it was just jungle. There was no Fluvial really. There was no access from the hotel zone, to enter the Fluvial area. But Fluvial, I would say, is the new, like the baby sister of Versailles, where it's just kind of coming and flourishing over the last 10 to 15 years. They started building a lot of houses in Fluvial at first, but now we're starting to see some smaller condominium development buildings going up. And then of course, a lot of the big box stores like Costco moved in, which is great. A lot of people just kind of like to bulk shop over there. La Comer, the supermarket there. You have a pet store as well, and then banks have come in. And my favorite thing is all the independent family-owned businesses, from clothing stores, jewelry stores, coffee shops, and restaurants. So if you go to Versailles now, you have an abundance of restaurants, and they're just within a few blocks from one another. So it's fantastic. And the convenience of just kind of walking, all throughout the area. And that didn't exist 10 years ago. No. And so if you wanted that kind of lifestyle, to live that comfortably, you would have to move to, let's say, El Centro, the Cinco de Diciembre, or the Zona Romantica. But now we have that option here in Versailles and Fluvial, and it's continuing to grow. And really from Valarte, which is being built right on the border of Fluvial and Versailles, it's just a 10 to 15 minute drive into Old Town. So it's really super close. You can take public transportation, or you can call a cab or take an Uber. It's a really short drive to get into town.
Exactly.
Yeah. Plus, there are a lot of schools in the surrounding areas. Like in Gaviotas, there are a lot of bilingual schools. In the Marina, there's American school. So I think it's great for families, because Valarte being like right in the middle of the city, you can get to the. With Valarte being like right in the middle of the city, you can easily get to the schools for your kids, go to work, go shopping, go to the bank. Hospitals, clinics, everything is just, it's all surrounding Valarte.
Exactly. Thank you, Taniel, for being here. And can you share with us how can we find more information of Valarte?
Sure. You can go to the website for the development. It's valartepv.com. That's VALARTE PV, like Puerto Vallarta, .com. And all the information is there, the current inventory, construction progress, and my contact information.
Perfect. And social media?
We do have social media, so we have a page on YouTube. Just put Valarte PV. We're also on Facebook as well, and Instagram.
Perfect. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. This is great.